This is the third open house webinar in our series. So this is AI in real estate, getting started without the overwhelm. My name is Carrie. I am the National Business Development Representative with the CE Shop. I work in partnership with a lot of our national brokerages and all of the brands, schools, property technology that you're familiar with working with. I work with them on the national level. And I will be co-hosting today with Amy, and she's going to introduce herself as well.
I'm Amy Adams. I'm one of the instructors here at the CE Shop, and I practice as an associate broker, but I'm a national instructor, so I'm licensed in a bunch of states, and I'm so excited to see where everybody's from. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear all these topics today, too.
And so we're going to put together a series like this with our wonderful experts so that no one is left behind. We can keep up with the technology that's evolving so quickly, and we can all learn from each other. That's the best way that we know how to proceed and get better at our jobs and be better with our customers. So today we're going to cover how AI fits into your business, how agents and brokerages are using AI in their day-to-days, practical ideas you can start using today, and where to be careful with AI because we need to be customer focused and ethical. And we're here to answer any questions you may have about it and learn from each other while we're doing this.
What is AI? In basic terms, when we say AI, we are referring to generative AI. And some of the ones that I've used are really only Copilot, ChatGPT. I will be learning right along with you from our panelists today because I am pretty weak on this subject. So I'm pretty pumped about today. So these are some of the examples. Next slide. I think our next one is an audience poll. How do you all feel about using AI tools right now? Are you like me where I'm confused and I haven't found anything that's been super useful? I use chat. Tell us in the chat how you are using it. Or, oh, I guess we have a question here. How do you feel about it? Are you excited? Are you curious? Are you overwhelmed? Or are you not using them at all? I use it very minimally. I use it to polish my language in emails because I know it's in my brain, but it doesn't always come out like a grown-up said it. And in my practice here at the CE Shop, I use it for finding links quickly to license law so I can update our content and review our content. But I'm excited to learn from our panelists today. So I guess I would be excited, curious, overwhelmed, and not using everything that I could possibly be using.
For me, really, it's like kind of an early version of an AI, just a step up from spell check, but I couldn't survive without it at this point because, there's certain words like necessary. Some days that word's not coming out properly. There should be an I in there somewhere. Um, but
I will say though that as I polish my language with ChatGPT, I learn from it too. I'm like, I might say it again the same way the next time.
Yeah.
I'm a little algorithm of my own, maybe.
Hey, we're all trying to sound smarter every day.
I definitely
all
am.
our own algorithm for sure.
Yes. So let's see. Is that oh, I'm so sorry about my voice. All right. So we got that audience poll back. So it looks like most people are excited. We love that. We're excited too. Okay. We'll go to the next slide.
Right. So our first featured speaker today is Marquetta Bryant, and she is someone that I know. She's local to me here in North Georgia, the Atlanta area. She's a broker. She's a loan officer. She has a school. But I know her from the instructor circuit, and that's how I met her and connected with her when I was recruiting for this webinar. And I told her my hesitation about AI, right, Marquetta? I told her that I was not really getting it. And I hadn't found any tools. And immediately within 3 minutes, she had named several concrete tools that I would find helpful in driving business towards myself. So I want you to, everyone to welcome my new friend, Marquetta Bryant.
Hi, everybody.
And she has, like I said, a brokerage here, and she has a school here. And you can see her school is Fresh Vision Academy.
Yes.
And she teaches classes about this. So,
I do. I'm pretty obsessed with AI, if anybody knows. Um, so I've been using it since it came available to us when I first learned how to prompt. I've been pretty obsessed with it. So I'm excited to be here and talk to you all about AI and any questions and things like
and
that.
the one of the things that I noted when I spoke with you last week was that some of the things you weren't finding useful, and you went and rerouted and made it work for yourself and started from the ground up. You kind of
I
taught
did.
yourself.
I
You
did.
taught
So
yourself.
one of the things that I saw was a problem for me personally, and I used AI to fix it, is how many of us are tired of using CRM systems that don't quite work for us because they're very generic and they work for everybody else. If that's you, type me in the comments so I can see if that's you. One thing that I did was I was tired of being beholden to, and this is me as someone who is was a real estate broker owner, wanted to find something better for my agents, wanted to find something better for myself, wanted to be able to kind of customize it, but also not have that very expensive overhead. And then what I was finding is that the big CRM companies were charging me for AI usage. And I was like, wait a minute, it's actually not that expensive. I threw $10 in OpenAI and I'm still using it like 6 months later, right? So that same $10. So they were overcharging in my opinion, I was being overcharged for things that I could do a lot cheaper for myself. So I actually built my own CRM system. We built our own backend, and this part might be a little more exciting if you're a broker. We built our own transaction back office where I can do CDAs and all of those things. And then we encourage our agents to use AI in other places where they can make more money. And I believe that AI, the inception of AI, is going to make it more financially accessible for real estate agents. And that's really what my real estate academy is about, is making these tools. I'm teaching people how to build their own tools so that they can get some of that overhead off of them because the market is shifting and we need to save money. So,
And back it up a little bit for the rookies.
okay.
What's a CRM?
So CRM, I don't want to name any of the big companies. We all should know. So the CRM, for anybody who's new here and hasn't started real estate yet, I know we have some in the room. That's where your contact data management. A lot of the CRM systems will talk to. They'll do emails. They'll do workflows. All of those things is really where you. Everybody has a CRM. Most people don't use it. So I wanted to build a CRM that people were using. And that's why I
I don't
built
use
it. And most
mine.
people don't use it because a lot of them are very confusing. So that's why I built a CRM system that I would use that was not confusing to me.
And it's a client retention management tool.
Yeah.
CRM. All right. So next slide. Thank you so much, Marquetta.
Yeah.
So Dan Duffy is not here yet. He had something come up. We're hoping that he pops in. I'm excited to introduce him. He is the founder and the CEO of United Real Estate Group, and they are a network of 30 plus companies across the United States and internationally. 35 plus billion annual transaction volume. It's a lot. One of his brokerages is actually here in my area, VPR, and their qualifying broker was a co-op of mine one time. I feel pretty famous, but he has spent a lot of time getting AI and getting these kinds of CRMs and these management tools into the hands of his agents to help them drive business towards themselves and not to other people. And that's something that he provides for all of his agents in all of those firms across the country and internationally. So hopefully he'll be able to make it. But if not, we are going to pick Marquetta apart.
Yeah. Happy to answer.
I love it. I could listen to her talk all day. Okay, next slide. So here's our first panelist question. And where are you seeing AI show up the most in real estate today?
I think everybody got a little obsessed with using it for their listing descriptions, right? If it was you, say it was me. I know that was the first thing everybody was like, let me give you prompts. And they were selling everybody prompts and things like that, using it for listing descriptions. I am starting to see it show up in workflows and automation, which I think is amazing and needs to be done. We are seeing it show up in compliance now. It's got to be some compliance around it. I know they're going to talk about that later on. We're seeing it show up in, I mean, it's everywhere. It's almost in everything right now in real estate, and I think it's being underutilized. And we'll talk about that later.
Because it's confusing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
really
is
is.
confusing because you don't know where to start. And I'm going to tell you all what tools I recommend that you use and which ones I think you should probably leave alone because it's a lot of noise and everybody's like, I have the best AI tool. Well, one, I would love to just teach you how to build your own AI tool, and I do that at First Vision Academy. And two, uh, most of the AI tools people are vibe coded anyway. You can build it yourself.
All right. Next slide. I think Carrie's going to take over here. Oh, you're on mute, Carrie.
Trying to avoid the feedback. Sorry, guys. Marquita's also going to talk about this, and anyone, please drop in the chat how you're doing it, but how I use AI in my real estate business and how you can apply it too. So everybody let us know, and we'll discuss on with our panelists what resources you're using.
I use AI in my business. I use it to, and I'm kind of on three sides of the business: real estate, loans, and a broker, right? Brokerage. So as a real estate agent, I use AI to auto post to my social medias. I don't post to social medias personally anymore. I build GPTs and I take those GPTs from inception and I build an app from them. I have AI assistants that actually answer my phones for me. So I know he's doing slow, but I have AI assistants that actually answer my phone calls for me. I have chatbots on all of my websites that can answer any question and talk to them as if they're a human, and answer any questions for them as well. I have built out a whole lot of apps and bots. I love vibe coding. If y'all don't know what that is, you should know. Um, I use it in so many ways. I don't want to get too ahead because I know it's beginner, so y'all have to pull me back because I love this. Okay. I love this. Somebody asked how much is all of that. I just pay for the LLMs, so I don't spend a lot on it. It just depends. I always tell everybody to pick the one that you are more comfortable with because it's a lot of them. In the language, LLMs is your Chat GPTs, your Claude, your Gemini, Manus, all of those. I personally use Claude now. And when I first started, it was Chat GPT everywhere. In the last 90 days, I've transitioned to Claude just because like we go together, I think. Um, Claude does things for me that I used to call my Chatisha. Claude does things for me that Chatisha just does not do. Okay. So I talk to Claude way more now. I made my husband start talking to Claude about 3 weeks ago, and this man spent all of my reserve money in my account. So we've been arguing about that. But I talk to Claude and Gemini the most, though. I will say now in the last 90 days is Claude and Gemini the most. I think they're just the most. I do Claude the most for when I want things done. If I want a PDF generated, Claude is really good at coding. Claude is really good. I mean, it's good at a lot of things. I think Chat GPT is now better at photos. By the way, they just released their photo
Right.
update a couple days ago, and it's pretty amazing. I think it's kicking Gemini right now. So yeah, and it doesn't matter which one you use, just like your CRM, just use one.
And I saw a question just to take it all the way back for those of us that are new to this. There was a question about GPT and AI. What are the differences? So
Okay.
I know that it is an AI, but
I want to
maybe
know.
just bringing it all the way back.
Okay, so you have ChatGPT, which is the main hub. ChatGPT allows you to make GPTs. So the GPT is a personalized. So I have one GPT And this is what I tell everybody. A lot of us use, let me back up a little bit. A lot of us use ChatGPT and we go in and have continuous conversations and we talk to it in the one thread about everything. So I actually made GPTs, which were my first assistants. And then those, I have a GPT that's just for posting on social media. I have a GPT that's just for posting to writing emails. I don't combine them all. I have a GPT that's for onboarding agents. I have a GPT that's for figuring out what my niche is. Like I have a GPT for everything, and you can build those custom. Gemini, they're called gems. On Claude, they're called projects. So they're all the same
Okay.
things. But a GPT is your own custom GPT, and you actually are able to feed it information. You tell this, you are. One of my GPTs is named Emma. You are Emma. You handle all of my social media. And then I was able to put in the top social media brains into that GPT. And so when it gives me, and then when it writes my GPTs, it's consulting with a marketing board before it gives me the answer. That just if that went over your head, just say it went over my head.
It went over my head, but it made sense. And it's the practical use of the tool. It's not just everybody that I've heard
Yes.
talk about AI, it's the concepts. Oh, you can use it for social media posting. How?
How?
You know,
Yes. So
be
that's
specific.
the
So
very first step I would tell everybody. If you start at phase one, and I actually teach that, I teach you from GPT to app. And if you start at phase one and you just make a GPT, and I'm happy to give you all my marketing GPT if that's okay. I'll put it in the chat. But my marketing GPT is amazing and it has a full marketing panel there. And I'll grab it for you in a second and I'll put it in the link for everybody. But the marketing GPT, if you put it in there, it's going to give, and you just say, hey, I want to make a social media post about this. And it'll give you all of that information. And I say from GPT to app because the GPT is the very first thing that I think you should learn. And there's Dan.
hi, Dan.
Hi,
Okay.
everyone. Hi.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, flight was delayed and I literally ran off of it. So I'll join in flow.
I think when I introduced you, I let everybody know. Dan's kind of a big deal. We're pretty glad he's here at all. And he provides a lot of these tools for all of the brokerages in the United States and internationally that he owns. And so I'm excited to have his viewpoint too. I'm glad you could make it. And I told
Yeah,
y'all he'd show up.
great to be here.
Wonderful. Wonderful. All right. So,
Is there anything you want
and
to add to this slide, Dan? So how you use AI in your real estate business and how you think people should?
Yeah, I think, to kind of, it definitely coincides. Our marketing departments each have their own toolkit that they've gone out and tested a bunch of kind of premium stuff. And then they come back and they say, look, these are the tools that I'm using right now. So within the marketing department, they have their own, but it's highly organized, like what tools we're going to use and which ones the team is going to use. We built some agentic agents that one does sphere of influence marketing. So our agents can take 100 of their contacts and it will actually go up and down to the LLM and interact with them and reinvigorate those leads and those contacts and touch them. We've done quite a bit of training from all of our staff so that they're using it in their functional areas of the business. And I think the journey started very simply. We actually hired Microsoft and 4 or 5 other companies to come in and help us kind of lay out a framework to get some momentum going, so that we could build on that momentum. And our agents are using it definitely in creating social media posts, our agent websites, creating content on a regular basis to get their GEO, their generative engine optimization, escalated because it's the Wild West right now. So we've created some tools so that they can actually generate posts that will cause them to come up in that AI search in Google, which is kind of like the state of play right now. So some basic stuff and some fairly heady stuff, but overall, I think the agents are starting to use not just the tools we have, and then we built a GPT interface to all of our knowledge management so that all of our knowledge management, everything we've done over the last 20, 30 years, even going back further, is accessible to them with a simple query. So it's pretty cool.
And to add to that, some of you might have seen the video that I have on the CE Shops YouTube about picking out a broker when you get out of school. There's some rookies in the room, Dan. And I tell them, when you go out shopping for a broker, you're interviewing them, not the other way around. And if these kind of tools are important to you, this is one of the things that these are the types of things, if you want to learn how to do this, that you're going to take into consideration when you are choosing a broker to place your license with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like, how can you help me become empowered? Marquetta does an awesome job. I mean, like everything she does, she's way advanced. I mean, it's super impressive. Like what she's done, she's really taken it by the horns as a broker and run and developed it and applied that curiosity. And then she's so generous to share it with everyone else. So that's exactly the kind of mentality. And I don't know, Marquetta, if you agree, it's just taking baby steps, trying some things and then working on your prompts. You can literally ask it, how do I make a better prompt? And it'll tell you, and you can create a frame. So we did create, quote unquote, the world's best prompt. And we've shared it with all of our people where it gives you the context and it gives you all the right structure. That was an interesting tool. And then people play with it in the open LLMs. But I think over time, and I think, Marquetta, what you're doing is you're creating agentic agents and you're doing other things that your agents in your brokerage can just pull kind of almost from a library so that you've done some of the lifting for them and then take it where you want to take it. It's all about starting with a curiosity, right? Good news is no one's really behind, but you got to get going.
Yeah, we definitely have to get going. I agree. Yes, Dan, that's pretty much how we're using it. I set the groundwork and then they kind of just build upon it that way from there. And I also just teach everyone how to use and utilize the tools because I think that's where a lot of us are confused on how to use it. And it really does start with baby steps. Like the very first step is talking to it. And I just wanted to, another caveat, I think a lot of us go in thinking we're trying to give it all the information. Sometimes you just ask, hey, what's the best way for me to get leads in Milwaukee? Yep. Just ask it questions and not try to tell it the information. That's a perfect first step.
So you can't really mess it up. It's not like I'm going to shut down the entire power grid in Canada or something.
No. I saw somebody in the chat ask if we disclose to my clients that I'm using AI. I mean, I don't disclose to them that I have 3 assistants. So it's not really any of their business. As long as, and that's, we teach it to use it very ethically as far as our agents go. I mean, if the AI, it depends, the AI is generating emails and things like that. I'm not saying, hey, email generated with AI, no.
Yeah, and one of the questions in the chat, I think this is, was, do you disclose to your clients that you're using AI? We do. I'm an agent. I work for, the real estate agent. And we kind of say, I'm going to help you out. And then obviously we can escalate. But we do have some nomenclature that kind of goes out with those communications on our agentic agents that we've built. I think also, since the topic is really how do you get started and what should you do, on YouTube, I must have watched 1,000 hours of video on Futurepedia. I think it's Futurepedia. And it was phenomenal. I mean, like real technical. And the first time you watch it, you're going to be like, oh my God, what was that? But the 10th time you kind of keep watching. And there's so much stuff just available to digest out there that's just right at your fingertips. Just an hour a night, just watch, or a half hour a night, just watch what are other people doing, or just query what are other people doing. And they'll tell you. I mean, it'll literally say, hey, here's a great prompt. There's other, I think HubSpot has an incredible library of like 10,000 prompts, and they publish a white paper. It's awesome. So you can go in there and you say that's all around sales, managing your clients, etc. There's so many resources, everyone, at your fingertips. It's absolutely crazy. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's literally right in front of you.
And I think that everybody also assumes that everybody's using AI at this point as well.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll get later on, we'll get into some of the legal parts of it. You know, it's
Mhm.
considered an unlicensed assistant in many states.
Mhm.
License law hasn't quite caught up,
It's
but it
catching up in
will.
Georgia. They're,
Yeah, it's catching up in
they're thinking
Georgia,
about
and
it. Yeah.
they'll let you know. But it's coming. You know, it's an unlicensed assistant. It can't do anything that an unlicensed assistant
Hmm.
can't do.
Mhm.
And we just threw up a poll, so you guys can answer that after we've had these discussions. I know I see a lot of people that are like me that their AI experience is very little. So this does seem high level, but like they said, there's resources, there's YouTube, there's Marquetta, Dan. There are people to reach out to, but start with the basics. You can do some research, just what is AI, what is Chat GPT, and once those basics are down, there's a lot of you just follow the path of what people have set before you, and there's resources out there for you. So don't be intimidated. This is scary for me too, but that's okay. We there is help out there. Don't worry. So we'll get that poll up, but we can go ahead and continue while you guys do that.
Uh, okay.
I plan to use it. I would like to drive more business towards myself. I think, you know, real estate's a little bit in flux. You know, it's very cyclical. It goes up and down. There's some times in your life, you know, for the rookies out there, you can really sit back and rake in some money. But then there's other times where you think business has been built organically, but then you realize how slow it can really get. So, and those are the times you have to get out there and hustle. And I don't want to hustle. I want AI to hustle for me.
Yeah. I
That's what I want to
agree.
use it
That's
for.
me because I sit on the beach a lot. I'm going to Hawaii in 2 weeks, in a week.
And for that
Nice.
Um,
reliability question there, I guess it's only as reliable or as good as your initial prompt, and
yeah.
check your work.
It's
Uh,
only, yeah. I agree with Carrie. It's only reliable as the information that you give it. And I always fact check AI. Please fact check it. A lot of sometimes it's wrong, and I have to say, hey, Claude, that's not correct, and give it the information. So please always fact check AI. And then I saw somebody else say they rendered a building something with it. I'm very cautious about AI and real estate photos, AI and building prints. You absolutely have to disclose AI on videos, photos. That's a rule here in Georgia now, especially. Um, yeah, don't I don't use it for that because I'm just very cautious about that. I just
About misrepresenting a property in a
misrepresenting the
photo
property. Yeah, I don't
for
do
the
that.
rookies.
Yeah.
I still teach pre-license, so I'm worried about all my little guys.
Well, and can we go back? I love this conversation is dead on the money. One thing I think someone asked in the chat, I think he said, "What CRM?" So obviously there's 5 colors of it, 20 colors of it, and so your
Mhm.
broker typically will obviously have invested in a CRM and provide that to you. And there's plenty off the shelf. And the cool part about what's going on right now, which makes this whole AI journey that much easier, is a lot of these software companies, because they want to continue to be relevant, have AI enabled
Mhm.
their tool. So you're effectively using AI in a very what they call, it's a structured frame. So they've already done the heavy lifting, and you can just
Mhm.
interact with kind of a GPT or a generative transformer conversation with it. I saw homes.com yesterday. I got a demo of their new search. Holy crap, it's beautiful. I mean, it's really amazing. You can just talk to it. Hey, I'm interested in this and then that. I'm really into kitchens. Show me all that. Tell me the names of the appliances in there. It's like all the software companies, whatever you go with, almost Canva, which is creating marketing collateral materials, etc., websites. All of them are
It's AI.
feverishly
Yeah.
working to get AI to be embedded in their software. So whatever you go with, it would be really unusual that like we did it to our software. We have our own CRM. We built it. And so all of it's GPT enabled now. And the agents are like, oh, cool. I can just ask your questions and it'll
Mhm.
automatically set up new contacts. It'll advance the contacts through the pipeline. It's really, that's what's going on behind the scenes. All these sophisticated, huge technology companies are actively
Yep.
making it easy for you to be an AI enabled agent. You know, doesn't mean you shouldn't explore it on yourself by yourself. I mean, you still have your own side exploration. It's fun. You know, I went back to school for a year. I went to a university for a year, hired the head of the
Hmm.
AI department of a major university, and said, I want you to assume I know nothing. And I used to run a technology company. I'm like, let's
Hmm.
start from ground zero. And we did. For a year, I just dug in, watched videos. I was
Hmm.
nerding out so hard. I was watching like hundreds. My kids were like, what are you doing? You know, I'm like watching these videos about AI like at night. It's crazy. Fun. It was really fun. Now I feel like I kind of know somewhat what it is.
All right. I'm just going to jump in here. Where AI fits in the agent workflow, um, you can go from lead to converting that lead to a listing or a buyer. You can use it in marketing, client communication, and follow up, those soft and hard touches when you reach out to clients after a transaction is closed so that you can generate business after the transaction is complete. Next slide. What AI tools do well in practice: they speed up writing, they help organize ideas, they reduce repetitive work. You can teach it how to do things like that, and they create a starting point for many licensees. Next slide. I'm going through some of these kind of quickly because I know we're getting lots of juicy information out of our panelists. And that's the real point. It's not these slides. Where agents still add the most value is we have the local expertise. You know, I've eaten at those
Hmm.
restaurants. You know, I've
Hmm.
walked on that greenway. Client relationships, you know, I saw somebody in the chat said they work with seniors. They're not really going to warm up to it as much. And it's always going to be our personal touch in sales. It's not always what you're selling. It's whether or not they like you. Judgment and decision making, remember, because AI can do ministerial duties and not advice, guidance, and counsel. It is an unlicensed assistance. And then nuanced communication. It's not going to it might remember Susie's birthday and send her a message on Facebook, but it doesn't always have the tone. So there's still value in our human relations. Absolutely. Next slide. Did we already do this one?
Yeah. I feel like we've already kind of covered that a little.
All
We
right.
can throw it up if
Let
anybody wants to add to it, but we'll move on. All right, we have another panelist question. What conversations are happening within real estate brokerages right now around AI use?
um, from the broker side or the agent side. So for
probably
the
both. You guys can give perspective as someone running a brokerage and supervising these folks, but then what are your folks saying to you?
uh, my agents are like everybody else in the comments. I have to hold their hands through AI.
Okay.
So most people are confused. They're starting from the beginning. They're trying to figure out how to integrate it into their business. I've taught a few how to, build their own websites and things like that. So they're excited about doing the ground stuff. From a broker standpoint, we're really talking about compliance. We're really talking about being safe and
That
smart,
part's
not
important
putting
to me.
any of your clients' personal information into these systems, not relying on it, not saying, hey, ChatGPT told me your house was worth, whatever amount. We're not doing that. We're not using it to manipulate photos. You can manipulate your own photo if that's what you want to do, but not photos of the
I know I
house or
do.
anything like that. Okay. Like, not photos of the house, anything like that. We're telling them to make sure they check and double check what the LLM might have gave them the information. It's not always accurate. Um, and because at the end of the day, it stops with them. And I added into my own brokerage contracts, ICAs with our agents specific language around AI because we do not want to get in trouble. You know.
I would echo the security. We're spending a lot of time on making certain that we only bring information inbound from LLM. So
Yep.
we encourage all of our agents to have paid subscriptions to these programs so that when they ask questions or they upload documents and say, can you please help me edit this or perfect it? Even marketing collateral material, which might be a point of differentiation for an agent. If you're putting it into a free system, you're training their LLM, their large language model.
Yep.
And you really don't want to do that. Like you wouldn't want to put your strategic plan. And we talked about this when we were in the prep call. We were Googling how to launch a new service offering for our offices and agents. And 3 of our competitors' strategic plans came back from the LLM. Somebody out there had put them up there. So you be careful that, and I think people, it's fine to play around with the freemium version, right? But once you kind of find whatever tool you want to use, whether it's Claude or Anthropic or ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot or whatever it is, pay a few bucks and get the secure version
Absolutely.
of it. So yeah, so you're just calling out. Now that's kind of at the entry level. All of our security models inside of our business, like our client list, all of our agents, all that information are securely behind the wall. It does not go out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree with Dan. Absolutely. I probably have the high end of every single one because I want the highest level of security and I don't want them to utilize any of our information to feed their information. So absolutely pay for it. I even pay extra because Claude only allows you to have that if you have 5 people on a team. Get 5 of your friends together. And I actually pay $125 to have the security at Claude. I'm not gonna, the security is very important. I agree with Dan. It's like high up there for me.
And I have a question for you guys as brokers. Do you see the gamut of all of your agents using these tools? They're in your training classes, learning how to use this. Is it the young folks, the older folks, everything in between? Or are some people not interested and they want to keep doing it the way they've been doing it?
Both.
Both?
What do you think, Marquetta?
I think it's a mix. You all would be surprised to know that I'm in an AI I'm a part of this big group and we just nerd out and do AI together. And a lot of them are well over 60. Honestly, seriously,
I love it. Yeah.
It's a lot of them that are one of the guys in our group is like 89. So, and he's building stuff and like doing it. So I don't think there's an age limit. But then I have in my brokerage, they're a little more hesitant to, try it or things like that. I think it's the younger generation is like all about the ethics and everything. And I understand that. I get that too. There's a lot of ethical things around AI and a lot of people have big feelings about it. Trust me, I live with a 16-year-old who detests everything about AI and everything I do with it. And I hear about it every single day. And I'm okay with that,
wow.
My daughter does not like it, right? And she will not use it. I'm like, hey, well, let it, I asked her to use Grammarly to check her English paper. She will not use it. So, I think it's kind of a mixed bag, but it's been my experience.
And
the
they
older
do have a lot of
generation
that
love it.
Drilled into them. I've got high school students too, and they're so scared of getting in trouble for using it. And here we are as adults in our profession saying, hey, I know your professor said don't, but I'm saying do.
I think if you go out 5 years and then look back, those individuals at this moment that are curious and just say, well, what's the worst thing that could happen by me going out and at least learning about it? They're going to build on that curiosity. They're going to land on something. Go, oh my God! So I found this AI tool the other day that allows you, and it's to take a contract, a huge contract, like you're buying a company or you're doing even a complicated commercial deal. I'm not suggesting you're going to not use an attorney, but it literally just goes through the contract and looks for fatal flaws, inconsistencies, recommends edits and red lines to that legal contract as if it were an attorney. I mean,
Hmm.
it's now. I'm not suggesting it's just to prompt you to maybe talk to your attorney. Hey, I ran it through a tool,
Yep.
and here's the fatal flaws. It says venue is this. Its venue is Georgia or Texas, and over here it says venue is Platte County, Missouri. That's a fatal flaw. And it literally summarizes as if an attorney had reviewed it. Do not rely on it, but it's a wonderful way to say, well, does this have merit or not?
Yeah.
You know, but I
Agreed.
think curiosity. You asked the question. Is it a certain cohort or group of people that are leaning in more or not? I agree with you, Marquita. It's not really so much an age thing. It's like, is that
Hmm.
individual historically curious,
Yep.
and are they willing to
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
new things? And I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what we're talking about with everybody. Hey, be curious, even if it's just a
Yeah.
little bit of curiosity.
I agree. I agree. It's curiosity. It's got to be. Yep. I agree.
Yeah, and even if you're hesitant or have big feelings about AI, like all of that's completely acceptable, but you don't want to be left behind.
No.
So even if it's something that, you may not agree with now, 5 years from now, you'll be left in the dust if you weren't curious, if you didn't take a
Mhm.
few steps to at least learn about it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. There's options and we want you to do what's right for you.
Yeah,
And
and there's a
and
great question, Diana B.
mhm.
You're in the. I'm sorry, I'm trying to flip back and forth to the
Uh-huh.
comments. She says, when you say, and I love this question. This is
Yeah.
like literally stellar because when you're hearing people talk about AI, they say stuff like, run it through AI. You're like, okay, I have no idea how to run it through AI.
Yep.
First of all, Diana B, you're not alone. So in there, in the interface, like where you actually enter your prompts and everything, you can physically attach documents, so you can point to documents. That's what I mean. Run it through AI. You can in this application, which is called a wrapper. Okay, people build an interface that's easy to
Hmm.
understand. That's like these AI tools. This was an AI
Yep.
tool that was contract review AI tool. It doesn't really matter what it is. And in the wrapper, they built an easy to understand uh, front end. So the user experience is easy. And it's like click, click, and it says upload your
Uh-huh.
document or point me to your document and it's literally, that's what the wrapper does.
Yeah.
Someone went to the effort of making it easy for you. And sitting underneath that is the agentic AI, like the
Yes.
actual thing that's doing all of the calling to the large language model. It's actually taking that user interface that's really easy to understand and it's self-explanatory. That's what a wrapper is. So sometimes they charge you $50 for that convenient wrapper, but if it's powerful, pay the $50, and
Yes.
then you can use it. It's easy to use. There's more technical ways to do it without having to buy the wrapper, but
Yeah.
hell, if someone figured it out and it cost a few bucks, do it.
And I agree with Dan, and that is another way that you could also, if you don't want to buy the wrapper, make a GPT and tell it to do the same thing, which is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, it
It's a little
costs
easier.
zero. Well,
Zero,
not
yeah,
zero, but you
not
already
zero,
bought
but you
the.
paying your $20 to,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
yeah. And I got excited when he started talking about rappers and all that stuff and wrapping things around and do all that because I teach all of that stuff and I get really excited about it. I love it. Uh, and that's what everybody is doing. And for everybody who's like afraid of AI, I just want you to know I called my doctor's office a few weeks ago and an AI assistant answered the phone at my doctor's
Wow.
office. So that everybody's using it. It's not just a us thing.
So these are practical, easy ways. I know I saw in the chat somebody had some practical, easy, where do you start? So a lot of us see in our MLS that it will auto generate listing descriptions that'll say, this is the front of the house, this is the view of this, yada, yada. Some people use it to create social media, captions and things like that. If you are thinking of what to say, the more you do it, the more these things will become natural to you. I've used it I was working on a course here at the CE shop and I used it to write scripts of,
Hmm.
I have a very specific real estate practice. I don't normally do listing presentations or buyer representation. When you're trying to get a buyer to convert
Yeah.
that lead into a client. So you can say, give me a 3-minute script on what to say to get this listing, to get this seller to list with me. Things like that. Those are some practical ways. You can set emails to go out. weekly explaining the market conditions or what the interest rate is this week. I see that a lot. And that is one of those marketing tools where you are just always in the mind of people, because people don't buy and sell a house that often, right? Regularly.
Mm-hmm.
But you can use, I know people who do set their, they just take a photo of themselves in the morning and then they run it through, and then it posts social media on all of their accounts,
Yeah.
makes a caption, makes up something about what they're doing that day, because that is a marketing tool just to always stay in the face of people and be ready to pounce once they decide they're going to buy or sell. And
Yep.
to-do lists and organizing. So let's move to the next slide. And let's see, panelist question. What's something that you guys tried with AI that didn't work the way that you expected and you pivoted or quit using it?
Oh, so much. I think I wasted so much money in the beginning. Dan's like, yeah, I wasted so much money because I thought like I had to have every shiny new tool somebody told me about. And then once I learned that most of them were wrappers, like what Dan was saying, I was like, oh, I didn't need this to get that, or I didn't need this to get that. And so now I'm really like telling telling agents, I was at a I was at a conference. It was a tech conference for specifically for AI. And one of the jokes they made was if you build a product, sell it to a real estate agent, they'll buy anything. And that's why I started Fresh Vision Academy, because we are often in this industry oversold. We're oversold tools. Buy this prompt, it's going to get you this many clients, or buy this and it's going to get you that many. When people started selling prompts, I was like screaming, like, you don't need to buy that. Right. And so I think that's one of the things that I did the most was waste my money on tools that I didn't need. That was the
Yeah,
one thing that
I agree. I think that early on there was a lot of people saying that they were AI companies, and all they were
hmm
doing was building just a bit of a UX or user experience or UI
hmm
on top
hmm
with these wrappers. And I played it same thing, Marquetta. Like, but I think early on we encourage everyone on our team as well as the agents, our agents and brokers, to
hmm
regularly test new things and then just do a little test, see how it works.
yeah.
And then we subscribe to probably 20 different newsletters,
hmm
some very, very technical, or at least I do, and I read them. Rundown AI is
hmm
phenomenal. The first four or
Ooh,
five,
ooh, yes.
it's really good.
Really
And
good.
the first four or five on the top are so big picture. It's like these big companies doing big things. You kind of just have to ignore it, but it's interesting that. But as
hmm
you get further down, they'll actually get you into case studies and workflow, what they call workflows, and they'll
hmm
give you the actual prompts and everything for a specific use case. It's awesome. So as you get down into it, Wave Group there's a bunch of people that have published
Yeah,
some really
yeah.
helpful things. And then the HubSpot stuff. Like there's just so much coming out, you guys. If anything, you have information overload. And so pick 4 or 5 sources of information, continue to digest it regularly, try new things, and then look to your broker and
hmm
look to say, what is our AI strat? Like, what are we doing as a company? Like, what tools do we have available in our tech stack? And Marquetta's agent, I guarantee, they know exactly what's in the tool stack and what isn't in the tool stack. Our agents do as well. You know,
hmm
it's like uh, we're constantly investing in that, and
Yeah.
we're getting better and faster at it. The one thing I would say that I think is a bit of a waste of time, at least for the vast majority of people. People talk about vibe coding, and they say, "Oh, we're going
hmm
to have a hackathon, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that."
hmm
Honestly, most people should not bother. I would say, and if you're an enterprise like us, I mean, we have
hmm
25,000 agents around the country and 700 off, all those things. We can't write code. It's not secure enough. If you want to just
hmm
bang out a website and write all the code for a website or do some basic pilot or, basic, hit proof of concept or do some frames for something, you can write some
Uh-huh.
code yourself. That to me, for most people, is kind of a bridge too far right now. Of course, yeah, it'll program for you. It'll actually
Uh-huh.
write lines of code. I would say that the question that was asked was, where have you gone down a path? And you said that might have been a waste of time, energy, or money. I thought that vibe coding might have been more important. I thought it was more important than it is. Most of the agents don't need to be vibe coding. There's too much stuff that's off the shelf and other tools that are available. Vibe coding basically allows you to write software poorly. It's
Yeah.
not like it's not an
And your
enterprise
website
level
crashes.
secure. So sorry.
Well, my takeaway is that you can play with it. Just don't spend a lot of money, but get to know it and try different things. And you're not going to shut down Canada's grid. You're not going to shut down, do you remember when we all first got computers and you download LimeWire and then the whole thing crashes and you got to make somebody fix your computer? That's not likely what's going to happen if you just, you could buy too many tools, but you're not going to explode. And I think the other takeaway from this little section is that I definitely could make some money publishing a booklet of AI words to understand.
Yes. Oh, to that point. So somebody asked, how do you use automated phone call answering? I actually made a playbook for anybody who wants to learn how to create their own AI um, chatbots or voice bots. And it's specifically for the real estate industry because I think real estate has been left out of the conversation. A lot of people are selling to real estate agents, but they don't know real estate, if that makes sense. And so
Yeah,
this is completely free. You can download it, all of that information. Yeah. And
I'll
I'll
be
put the link in the
calling
chat.
you, Marquetta. I'll be
Okay.
emailing you. Oh, there it is. Yes.
Mm.
Awesome. All right, let's go to the next slide and see. Let's see. We're going to use AI to support our work, not replace our judgment. Remember, advice, guidance, and counsel comes from licensees only, not for pricing, not for legal interpretation,
Mhm.
and not for strategy. Well, you can maybe use some strategy. I know I've gotten strategy from there. How should I approach this? That kind of thing. All right, next slide.
Yeah,
I just
and
want Dan and
don't
Marquita to keep
overuse it
talking.
to blow out your pictures and your videos. Speaking of
No.
AI mistakes, when I hopped in here, I don't know, the filter was turned on so high I didn't have a nose anymore. And even that's just AI.
Right.
That's awesome. Nice person, but no nose. That was like kind of weird.
No,
Like what?
I'm pale enough as it is, and it just, looked like I was standing in front of
Didn't even notice,
headlights.
Carrie. Didn't even notice.
Oh, I turned it down. It's fine. But all right, we have another panelist question. What skills do you think will be more important for agents as AI becomes common?
I think it's the
So,
same skills that they've always had, right?
Mhm.
It's the human in the loop at the front end, relationship management. It's so important. This will just make it easier for you to direct your efforts, right? So you can work your sphere of influence, build a broader sphere of influence, and but you have to be engaged, as you all know, with the public. You got to talk to your friends, let them know that you're in the business. All of your referrals, prior clients. This will help you communicate with prior clients, check in on them. How you doing? What's going on? Is there anything I can do for you? Do you have any friends? Hey, here's some things going on in the community. All that stuff can be automated with AI. All those communications can be automated. Hey, I'm
Mhm.
so and so. Dan's I'm Dan's AI aid assistant, and I
Mhm.
wanted to let you know what's going on in your community in the last 30 days. Here's what's going on. Just want to let you know. And I'm not even talking about
Mhm.
real estate stuff, like local school
Yeah.
updates, bulletins. So I think the real estate agent, we serve an infrequent sale, only a few
Mhm.
times in a lifetime. And it's super important, to our customers. What we do is incredibly important for people. We get it wrong or they get it wrong. It's not a good day. So they don't do it very often. So they need a human with a heart, and they need a human in the loop at the front end. It's okay if AI helps that human do a better, more efficient job.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
the
I
number
love
of
it.
transactions where agents participated actually has gone up despite $10 billion worth of
Yes.
investment to try to
Yes.
take the agent out of the loop. So the
Mhm.
human in the loop at the front end, is polishing and how AI can help you with your skills to engage with different groups of people, different cohorts.
Mhm. Mm-hmm.
it will give you a roadmap to be able to do that. But I think AI is just literally designed to make you more efficient and take away the rootness things so that you can focus more on what we're really good at as real estate professionals is listening to our clients. What are their needs? What are their wants? What are their desires? What are their loves? What are their fears? And then assuaging those and helping them to get to find their freedom on the other side of it. I sold the house. I bought a
Yep.
house. I
Yep.
bought an investment property. I mean, that's the beauty of, that's why we all got into real estate, because we love helping
Yep.
people and seeing them
Yep.
just be jazzed, you know?
Uh-huh.
So this will make it easier and free up time for us to do that. That's what it's doing right now.
I love
I,
that. I love
and
it.
I completely agree with Dan. I think that the agent skill is not going to go away. We still need the customer interaction. AI is just to help us on the back end. I'll tell you a little bit about my business. Personally, literally about my business. I have ADHD and it was very hard for me to focus. I was really, really bad at follow up, you guys. Like horrible at it, and it was hard for me to put together like a workflow and all of those things. And AI was able to come in and it helped me. And I say, hey, I have ADHD, so my Claude is like, hey, Marquita, did you finish that other task first, or did you do that? So it just helps me in that way. And I don't think that we're it really does. It's like, hey, it told me to go to bed last night. I was like, it's 7:30. Why are you telling me to go to bed? Right. So I think that it's really helped me like pull in and get all of my things done during the day. And it's helped me stay on task. And if all it does is help you stay on task, that's a good day, right? But I think that our job is going to become even more important in a world where people are tired of getting answers from AI. They're going to want to get an answer from you. So while it's going to be great to have somebody answering your phones or great to having that AI chat, which is going to take a little pressure off of you, you still have that human element. Like, I think Dan said earlier, no, they don't know what's going on in the neighborhood. They don't know what's actually going on here. AI is only as good as the information that we give it. So I think agents are going to continue to be important. I think we're going to become even more important. But I definitely believe the agents who use AI are going to be winning this race.
If I could teach it to fold clothes, I would be unstoppable.
Listen, well, I have a person for that. They drop the clothes at the door folded.
All right, let's jump to the next slide and see what we've got. All right, audience poll. This is a good question. What concerns you all most about using AI? And I know that my concerns have changed. I used to wonder about the ethics. I didn't write this.
Mhm.
Is it copyrightable? In
Yep.
the instructor world, I think about, is it copyrightable? If I didn't create it, is everybody going to end up with the same stuff, where I'm not distinguishable because we're all getting it from the same place? But my thoughts have my concerns have changed. Let's see what everybody else. And accuracy is now my concern because I look up license law as a big part of my job, and I'm like,
Mhm.
if I have to copy edit my copy editor, what's the point, right? But
Mhm.
Yep.
now instead of asking it for, you know, is a buyer brokerage agreement required in Wisconsin, I show me the link to the license law about buyer brokerage agreements in
Yep.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Yep. And it
And I
does
want
that.
the link directly to the license law.
My
Yeah. I would
favorite
say,
one for
oh,
that.
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm
Sorry. I
sorry.
was just gonna tell her because I like to give Amy nuggets. My favorite LLM to look those up when I'm doing deep research is Perplexity. So there you go.
Mhm.
Perplexity. Okay.
They're the
Yeah, I
best at
will. That's great because
research.
I have,
It gives you all the
I
links.
was resistant. I was even resistant about this topic for this webinar. And look at this, I'm on fire. But because of the instructor world, I was resistant because of the copywriting, right?
Mhm.
And but then the accuracy. So knowing something that I can go directly to and a certain brand, but I was stuck in Chat GPT because that's what I bought and that's what was, and that has turned into Google for me. You know what I mean? It's really just a Google.
Yeah, yeah, yes. It turns into that. But deep research, Perplexity, it gives you all the links and everything. It's my
Yeah. And that's,
Perfect.
and to add another term to our lexicon here, to our
Mhm.
list of things, that's called RAG. That's the RAG LLM, where you're
Mhm.
basically getting references from, you're
All
getting
the others.
here it
Yeah.
is, and here's the source. So you can actually kind of
Mhm.
check, oh, okay, that's valid. It's not some, you know, crackball writing an article and you're like, what the hell? That was referenced to like I don't know, if I wrote an article on space travel or something, I'd be like, that
Yeah.
guy has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
The question you asked was, what are you most, I guess, concerned about? What are we thinking about? We're looking to, there's two things actually. And I, making sure our data is secure, and especially the things we work so hard for, our customer data and everything else. So that's the infrastructure and the way we architect everything.
Hmm.
Um, and I think the second thing is, which it hasn't hit everyone yet. It's just like little itty bitty tolls is the cost of it. I don't want to, the, the typical agent inside a brokerage and most brokers inside of a national organization will not have to worry too much about it. However,
Hmm.
those tokens, they call them, I'm not going to go all into how it works, but when you fill out a
Hmm.
GPT, it creates these tokens, little pieces of
Hmm.
data, and then goes and finds other things that match it in the large language. They cost
Hmm.
a lot of money, especially
Hmm.
if you're doing a lot of it. So I think that
Okay.
one of the things that concerns me is that as we add these tools for our agents and brokers, is how can we afford it? Because it's millions and millions of dollars. Now you're not going to have that problem because you're paying a fee and you might get, limited on how many queries you can make or something like that. But if we're adding functionality to our software and to our systems, we might get a billion queries or 500 million queries. Well, that could add up to a huge bill. And we're like, oh man, we just added a huge layer of cost. So if you're a broker on the call, you have your tech stack. I'm sorry, an agent
Hmm.
on the call. You have your tech stack. So what tools am I going to buy so that I can be efficient? And then you can
Yeah.
curate those over time. At the national level, at our level, we have to be really careful that we don't get so excited and launch something. It's like, oh my god, that just literally wiped out $10 million worth of or put added $10 million worth of cost. So we're trying to figure out where is how do we recover costs and not and do it the most efficiently so our agents can get those things without spending a lot of money,
Hmm.
right? Or any money. So
Hmm.
I don't know, Marquette, as you're adding layers of cost into these
I
things.
I added Claude in house this week
Okay.
just so that we could have some brokerage overlay. We already gave Gemini. Gemini was already a part of our tech stack for our agents, so they already had the pro version of Gemini. That version doesn't feed the LLM monster, like I like to say. And so I just added Claude as well as something else that we give to our agents, because we just want to be very protective of, again, that information getting out, how they're using it, and gives us some level of overlay so that we're covering ourselves on that other side. I recommend the paid version of any AI that you use. Yes, there are some security level things that you get when you pay for it.
Yep. So someone I think asked the question, what's a
Mm.
tech stack? Is that I'm sorry, Amy.
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody, Amy
So
asked was a tech stack. Yeah.
okay, so that's a different way to describe. Let's say you have Microsoft Word and you
Hmm.
have Microsoft Excel and you've got your email. All of those things collectively are referred to as your tech stack. So each of you as an agent has a tech stack. You might not know it, but you use a certain email system. You use Microsoft Excel. You use, that's your tech stack. Anything you subscribe to that's software based, that's your personal tech stack. And you should know what you're paying for. And then every once in a while, go back and revisit it. Am I buying the most efficient thing? Am I paying too much for some of this stuff? Is there a newer version that's less expensive, in your personal tech stack? Um, what what Marquetta said, which is the quality brokers out there, which
Hmm.
clearly she's at the edge of that. I mean, like literally, I interact with 1,000 brokers a year. Yeah, she's like way on the edge of this. So
Yeah.
she's proactively thinking, how do I, as a broker, to do right by my agents, and how do we work
Hmm.
together, and how do I make decisions and maybe make an investment so that we can all share in a curated solution, like something that
Hmm.
she spent a lot of time making sure, like she just said, perplexity. She's right. It's the best for research and it gives you all the references. That takes a minute to figure that out. And so she's doing that
Hmm.
heavy lift, and then she's going one step further and making an investment in it on behalf and for her agents, and probably also, of course, training the agents on how to use it. Is that, I assume you're also training them. You're saying, here's what we have, and here's
Yeah.
what, yeah.
Yeah, we're training. Yeah, we do. So I do training once a week every Monday. And then we do it in person every Friday just to kind of make sure that everybody feels comfortable with what they're using in person because I have some older agents as well just to make sure they feel comfortable. So we're training all the time. And then I do a lot of one-on-ones because they want everybody's business is different. And then I know Ashley wanted us to address someone, Carol asked, she said, I'm almost 80. Should I call it a day? Stay with what I know after 21 years in the business? And I would say that we are never too old to learn. My grandfather is 85. I teach him AI. He knows all about social media. He's very hip. He knows all the things, all the coming and going. My husband's grandmother, who lives with us, she is 79. She is also in real estate. I have been teaching her AI. She loves it. She's picking it up very well. So, no, we are never too old to learn. I think you should give it a try. I think it'll make life easier for you. You'll be like, wow, I can
And it's fun.
send all those
I
emails. And
mean,
it's really fun. It's so fun.
yeah, it actually is fun if you approach it with that attitude. I have a 90-year-old father. Okay, he used to work at NASA back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
He's very ornery, and I got him digging into AI. And so we'll get on calls, and we'll go at it. We're like, no, that's
Yeah.
wrong. This is what.
Yeah.
But it's been a point of conversation and exploration. It's also a point of hey, did you find that? And then you get this you got this group of people that start to jazz
Mm-hmm.
each other up. What'd you find? What'd you find? And you make the journey together. So uh, I really find it super interesting to hear what other people are doing. And every conversation I get in with other folks, I learn a little nugget. Like, oh, that's interesting. I never really thought about it like that. So for me personally, it's been a beautiful epiphanal uh, like thing to explore to make life richer. I know that sounds crazy. It doesn't have a lot to do with real estate necessarily, but my life is richer. Any topic you explore,
Mm-hmm.
anthropology,
Mm-hmm.
psychology, and you dig deep into, when you get to the other side of it, I'm really into the Nabateans for some reason right now. They're an ancient civilization in southern Jordan, controlled all the trade routes. I got onto it and I went for like days and days, like researching the Nabateans. The Nabateans, they built Petra. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm a different person. And I learned some stuff about, ancient civilizations that I didn't know before. It's just fun. I mean, we have such little time on this planet. Why not make the most of it and explore and rip open everything? Be curious about it. I don't know. I think AI is fascinating and it's going to be increasing. I don't view it as a threat. Yeah, it's going to cause some societal changes, but I don't view it as a threat. I really don't. And if you're on this call right now, you're going to be on the right side of making it empower you. The very fact that you're on this call means that you're
Yeah.
curious and
Yeah.
you're going to, AI is going to make you crush it.
Yes.
Got to stick
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
It's just
And
a tool. And
it's just a tool.
someone asked about, pictures and how much you can do. Currently, the license law is catching up, but it's still the same. You can't misrepresent a material fact about a property, period. End of story. And so, can you virtually stage a property? Yes, as long as you disclose it.
Yes.
Can you take power lines out from a property photo to make it look like they're not there? No, you can't, because that's misrepresenting material fact. And that license law is in place. It's in place. You
Mm-hmm.
those license law, and here in Georgia, our license law is
Mm-hmm.
very specific about how it doesn't tell you what you can do, it tells you what you can't do.
Yep.
Until it tells
Yep.
you you can't,
Yep.
but disclosing or misrepresent or not disclosing or misrepresenting a material fact about a property is always going to be wrong. Just
Yep.
like, whether it's a stigmatized property, is this house haunted? Do you have to disclose that? No, but you have to disclose if about things about the property. If the door is open and slammed by themselves, you've got to disclose that.
Yep.
You don't. So it's the same. It's the same kind of
same thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's your license. So check with your broker, check with your state commissioner's office,
Please.
follow the rules. Like, this is a tool, it's a lot of fun, it can enrich your life, like Dan said, but do follow the rules. It's your license, your livelihood.
Please, I cannot drive that photo thing home enough. Y'all can tell I've had to have this conversation before. Do not do that.
Yeah.
And if you do, say doctored with AI, or even when you get it back from the photographer, you have to say that it was heavily edited if they fix the sky or anything. So disclose when you don't understand, disclose again.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we've covered everything in this one. Okay.
Oh yeah, we've got some new CE courses, and there's a lot of scams out there. There's AI in real estate, and it is not as in depth as this course is, as this webinar was. But I think you're going to get a lot of good stuff out of it. But you guys have been amazing. I know I'm pumped, and I was resistant. I remember Marquetta when I called you. I was like,
Yeah, we talked about it.
so
I think one last parting comment, Amy. If you like,
yeah.
right now for the next probably 6 months or so, it's all about mindset.
Hmm.
That's number one. If you can just get your mindset that you're curious, unafraid, and you're going to take baby steps every day, talk and start having a rolling conversation. 6 months from now, you're going to be shocked at how far you've come. You
That's
become confident and
great
aware,
advice.
and then you start to build, and then you're like, wait a minute, I'm going to try that. If you met
Yep.
somebody in your ecosystem that said, wait, I
Yep.
built an agent that solved that problem. Let me see it. How did you do that? Oh, I used this tool. You're going to, and
Hmm.
all this stuff will seem not like barbly goop. It won't seem like words I've never heard, but it's just get your mindset right. Be excited about it because it's something fun. And encourage, if you are an agent, talk to your broker and say, what are your thoughts about it? And that broker should know what the national company is doing. So the national
Yep.
company should be doing some stuff to earn their keep, and the
Yes.
brokers should be taking that stuff and giving it to you. So depending on where you are in this whole like conundrum, I think I've got 40 people working on my AI team, and they are
Oh wow.
hammering it. They're doing great. They're building cool, sexy stuff. Now,
Hmm.
not all of it's been launched yet because we're still trying to make it safe and everything else, but things to make agents and brokers more efficient. It's really exciting. Our brokers are digging it, and our agents are digging it.
Yes.
So
I agree. And as we part, we wrap it up. I just want to say, get out there, build with AI, have a great time, have fun with it. If there's anybody in Georgia and they want some in-person classes, please feel free to email me. I specifically love to teach brokers. I do teach real estate agents as well, but I like that compliance part to really come from their broker. And if you want the playbook, I put the link in there. It's completely free. It'll teach you how to build those AI systems that everybody's talking about all over the internet.
All right. Well, we went over by quite a bit, but we're so glad you guys hung in there, and we're so glad that everybody was so into this conversation. And I can't thank you, both of our panelists, enough. This was exciting for me as a practicing agent. So,
Yeah, we need
Thanks
to
for
do
having
this
me.
again once a week, little get together,
yeah, yeah,
Because
Yeah.
I
I'm
have
down.
so many
I'm
terms
down.
to look
Yeah,
up
me
now.
too. I love it. I can talk about this all day. My agents get tired of listening to me. I'm like, who wants to play on AI with me today? Like, get on Zoom and, all that.
Hey, hey, Carrie, I don't know how you want to do this, like post call, but because I literally ran off a plane. If you haven't know, I'm in Texas and it's hot as hell, and so I'm like sweating outside. I'm at the airport, like standing by the baggage claim or whatever the hell it is. But I have a, some slides that I can give you with a glossary of terms
Awesome.
that
Oh,
you can
Oh, that
yeah.
share
would
with
be great,
everybody
Dan.
to make it
Yes.
I
easy.
will just annoy you until I get that. So
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem.
That would
So
be fantastic.
I'll give you
I
that,
know
and
how
then
to
I have
stalk you.
yeah, and then I have another one which is all of the current AI wrappers for real estate.
oh,
Awesome.
So it's kind of a short list,
wonderful.
so you can go check them out, and you can
Yeah.
say, I like it, and then maybe buy a subscription and turn it off. You don't like it if you're not getting the
Uh-huh.
value from it. But I have a couple cheat sheets for you, and I'll get that to you, Carrie and Amy.
Oh, That's one of the
wow.
things I said that I was so needed is a cheat sheet of terms.
Yes, that is
So
great.
that is
Yes.
going to be amazing.
Lifesaver, truly.
And one last thing, I created a graphic using AI, which explains kind of holistically what AI is,
Yes.
like what all the terms and how they lay in and how the data lakes and how the tokens work and all that stuff. So if you want to, I'll send you that as well, and you can share it with everyone in the call. Fun.
Oh, this is great. And I hope to have you both back. I hope some of our more
Anytime.
popular webinars we might repeat. So I hope we get to see you guys again. Marquetta, I know I'll see you. Dan, I hope I see you.
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you. This is a blast.
Yes.
Marquetta,
Yeah,
that was
thank
awesome.
you so much.
Thanks, Dan. You too. Thank
That
you
was
guys.
fun.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye, y'all.
everyone.
Bye.